Good evening, everyone. I'd like to ask Kameli to just stay 1 second for us here because we are talking today about reasons to celebrate. And tonight is this beautiful, pretty soul's birthday. So I would like to invite you to do a prayer with a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kameli. Many blessings to you. So good evening, everyone, to our internauts. We are today, this is the last lecture of the month of June, and we've been celebrating since January. This is the 15th year of our center. 15 is in our countries, in Brazil, Latin America in general. 15 is the quinceañera, the 15 years old. You are becoming like ready for your social life, right? You're becoming an adult. So nothing like going back some of this time and see some of our accomplishments, some of the things that we've worked through. So many people we met over this time, this 15 years. I haven't been here from the day one. I have not. It's been a while, though. It's been about half of that, and it's been a wonderful journey. And anybody, I invite everybody, if it's your first day or if it's been your 15th year, Matiz, Marisa, they're all here to guide us, to give us their hugs. There's nothing like Marisa's hugs, I can guarantee you. Nothing more comforting. So, and for that, our thanks. Our gratitude. But of course, the first reason, and I started going through this retrospective of what is so important to celebrate. We have our marks, right? Milestones in our lives that we start getting these messages, this open ups, I would say, I like to call them aha moments. It's just like something in your mind, a light bulb goes off, and okay, it's time to celebrate this. It's time to stop and celebrate. And one of the things that this journey show us, a lot of you are participating in the study groups that we have here, Mondays, Thursdays, Sundays. Some of you have been coming many months, many years. And a lot of you will notice with me some things that may have happened to you. One of the first things that we learn here, love one another and educate ourselves. Is it new for anybody? We've been listening to these messages, but all of a sudden we are brought to go deeper on it. We start practicing it here through our celebrations of birthdays, monthly breakfasts. The groups tend to make friends amongst them, and you start going out, you start planning things together, you start working here, and funny thing starts happening. Friends become like brothers and sisters, become like family. And all the differences start showing up, right? The moment you are familiar with somebody, what happens? You start bringing yourself out. You start becoming more comfortable. And you also bring the things that you are not so good at. Differences start showing. Some in colors, different personalities, difficult people to deal with. Yes? No? Same thing that happens in our family, right? As kids, we all grow up playing together. We share or we fight, and then we always have one or another that is that hard to deal with personality. And the funny thing is, if we don't work that out at home, this difficult personality starts showing up everywhere you go, at work and here in our center. So we start learning what here? Working together, trying to figure out where this difference comes from. That's what we are led to here, right? Because we start searching for answers. We start listening that, oh, you are not a person, your personality, you are a lot more than this person here. You have a lot more history. You are a soul with many, many lives. And all these lives start, you don't remember all of them, but they start interfering with your daily life today. We are a result, and we are the best. We are at our best moment now, so this is another reason for us to celebrate. We are learning that this is our best version. This is our Windows 10. We have touch screens now. And what that means is the gospel, which was a good news, right? It was these good news that are coming to us, that was brought to us 2,000 years ago. It's becoming easier to understand. It's becoming easier to interpret. It's a different interpretation. It's a closer one. And the first thing that Jesus brought to us is what? What is the first law? Love God above all and love yourselves like yourself, right? Love thy neighbor like yourself. So we learn here all of a sudden that there's no time out. You're not here to pay anything. We are in a learning process to grow together for a better us. Another reason to celebrate, right? We are not here to pay anything. We are not here to suffer in vain. Any pain that happens to us has a reason. I might not remember, I might not know the exact one, but I know there is a reason. I know that we have this Father that is not bringing us here to suffer. So we start learning here in these weekly classes, and some of us are here 3 days a week. Some of us need to hear more. So we are brought to study more. And one example is you come here and some of us will see what we call facilitators that stand in front of you and bring and share a study with you, the same study 3 times a week, because we have 3 different classes. You might think that the person is there because she or he knows a lot. Quite the opposite. He or she needs to learn that lesson so many times that she's taken to study this 3 times and repeat the class in 3 different ways. Because if you come in 3 different classes for the same theme, it's going to be 3 different, completely different classes. But the person who's in front is the one who needs to listen to that all 3 times, all 3 different ways, all 3 different days, because there's a lot to learn. So Haroldo Dutra, he says, well, he's a speaker, he goes everywhere, and he says, you know, the speaker is the person who needs to listen from start to end. He cannot get out for a coffee. He cannot go out for for a break room. He needs to listen everything that he says in every single time that he goes. So this is for the speakers that you might think that it's very nice to be here. Don't believe it. It's nerve-wracking and it's always a challenge, but it is something that. And this is another thing that we need to celebrate a lot. For somebody to be here, there was a mountain of people, there was tons of people that have been working for this to happen for years. Matias and Marisa can attest to that. It's a daily work, planning, it's investing, it's taking care of people, it's making sure that everything is working out, that the lights is on, that the place is clean, right? All these people you don't see them here, but this only happens because of them. So celebrate them. We learn to live and we learn to study life here in 3 different ways: science, philosophy, and religion. Everything, because the law is the same anywhere we go, in our business, in our family, with our friends. It doesn't change. We may think it does. We may think that at work it's competition. We may think that life is competition itself. And when I studied at college, when I was in school, we used to think that nature was all competition. We are all competing against each other. So we are in the top of the food chain. We can control everybody. We can control all the species. But now, when we see nature and when we study nature, we see that everything works in cooperation. And it works better if it is in cooperation. If you end up with the species, everybody knows about the story that if you end up with all the snakes, you end up with a field of rats, right? So if we break the harmony, if we break the balances anyway, we do that a lot, and we are learning in the process that is not good for us at the end of the day. But if we break that process, if we break the balance, it is disruptive, and it will bring us some consequences. So we learn here that for every action, there is a consequence. It's different than if I hit you, you hit me back. If that happens, what am I going to do? I'm going to say, oh, now I learned that it hurts, and I'm not going to hit you again? Probably not, right? Probably we'll both end up fighting even more. So, hitting a person that you hit you, we're never going to have peace. Looking at this, we start understanding what? There is a consequence to what we do. And if we react to everything that happens to us in the same level, we're going to end up where? In the same level. So if I start a fight, and if I try to end up that war with a fight, I'm going to end up with more or worse wars. With this, we came, in this, if we follow the evolution of our history, we're going to see that we started with the atomic bomb in Japan, and nowadays we use atomic energy all over the place, right? It's not the atomic bomb. It's how we use it. It's not that energy, it's how we use it. So the fact that we are learning this and we can see this in a different, and information nowadays is coming so fast, it's coming at us so fast, it's mind-blowing. But with this, the fact that we have this information so fast, we are also being able to resolve or create solutions and disseminate it in the fastest way. Today, if somebody dies in hunger, we know very fast. We learn about it very fast. There's technology. We have enough food for everybody, but we still have people dying with hunger. Why is it still happening? And is it still happening at the same pace? If we study the statistics, we're going to see that no, hunger is going down. We are making progress. We are making it better. But the numbers are so big to see we're still working on those. But just for us to have an idea, the medical studies that are showing that healing power of prayer is undeniable, right? So praying for oneself, it's already proven that it brings you better health, it makes you happier, and praying for somebody else. Why would that be different, right? So we are now also showing that it is important, and it is the proof. This Tom Knox, he studied medicine and he started researching all this power of prayer. And he says, over the past year, a growing and largely unnoticed body of scientific work shows religious belief is medically, socially, and psychologically beneficial. So doesn't it involve in all the areas of our lives? So religion is not a church anymore, right? It's coming out. It's coming out to our daily lives. So we are learning what is it? Okay, we sweat here for an hour, we study here for an hour, but we have to go out and bring it outside with us, right? We are not here learning to judge, or we are trying to learn not to judge the others. We are trying to know exactly what goes inside us. How can we change this inside me, inside myself, so I can be an effective change in the world, not the other. Nobody can change anybody. It's an illusion. We can only change ourselves. And all this, I wanted to share with you guys some images, and he will talk about all these things, but just to show how small we are in the big perspective, and but still we are so important in this process. We are unique. There's nobody that can be you. There's nobody that can be better you than yourself. And trying to not do that is a disservice that we do. Nobody can surpass us in our little things that we do, little words, messages. There's this little details that are so important, and they are so particular to anyone, to this exact person, to this exact personality. The way it comes, the time it comes, the words that are said, that these are all part of our charity, right? We are not here, our charity is not anymore like before. We have to give something that belongs to us. What is really us is not a plate of food anymore. Something that is ours is something that is coming with us once we are gone. what is it that I'm living here with my friends, with my kids, that it will last beyond my existence? Right? Isn't that the real charity that we can do? I want to share with you guys a short movie that shows just the differences and show us how pictures and movies can bring some feelings inside us that can make us go out and want to make a big difference. Can you turn off the light, please?
What is the intersection between technology, art, and science? Curiosity and wonder. Because it drives us to explore. Because we're surrounded by things we can't see. And I love to use film to take us on a journey through portals of time and space, to make the invisible visible. Because what that does, it expands our horizons, it transforms our perception, it opens our minds, and it touches our heart. So here are some scenes from my 3D IMAX film, Mysteries of the Unseen World. There is movement which is too slow for our eyes to detect. And time-lapse makes us discover and broaden our perspective of life. We can see how organisms emerge and grow. How a vine survives by creeping from the forest floor to look at the sunlight. And on the grand scale, time-lapse allows us to see our planet in motion. We can view not only the vast sweep of nature, but the restless movement of humanity. Each streaking dot represents a passenger plane, and by turning air traffic data into time-lapse imagery, we can see something that's above us constantly but invisible. The vast network of air travel over the United States. We can do the same thing with ships at sea. We can turn data into a time-lapse view of a global economy in motion. And decades of data give us a view of our entire planet as a single organism, sustained by currents circulating throughout the oceans and by clouds swirling through the atmosphere, pulsing with lightning, crowned by the aurora borealis. It may be the ultimate time-lapse image. The anatomy of Earth brought to life. At the other extreme, there are things that move too fast for our eyes. But we have technology that can look into that world as well. With high-speed cameras, we can do the opposite of time-lapse. We can shoot images that are thousands of times faster than our vision. And we can see how nature's ingenious devices work, and perhaps we can even imitate them. When a dragonfly flutters by, you may not realize, but it's the greatest flyer in nature. It can hover, fly backwards, even upside down. And by tracking markers on an insect's wings, we can visualize the airflow that they produce. Nobody knew the secret, but high speed shows that a dragonfly can move all four wings in different directions at the same time. And what we learn can lead us to new kinds of robotic flyers that can expand our vision of important and remote places. We're giants. And we're unaware of things that are too small for us to see. The electron microscope fires electrons, which creates images which can magnify things by as much as 1,000,000 times. This is the egg of a butterfly. And there are unseen creatures living all over your body, including mites that spend their entire lives dwelling on your eyelashes, crawling over your skin at night. Can you guess what this is? Shark skin. A caterpillar's mouth. The eye of a fruit fly. An eggshell. A flea. A snail's tongue. We think we do most of the animal kingdom, but there may be millions of tiny species waiting to be discovered. A spider also has great secrets, because spider silk thread is pound for pound stronger than steel, but completely elastic. This journey will take us all the way down to the nano world. The silk is 100 times thinner than human hair. On there is bacteria, and near that bacteria, 10 times smaller, a virus. Inside of that, 10 times smaller, 3 strands of DNA. And nearing the limit of our most powerful microscopes, single carbon atoms. With the tip of a powerful microscope, we can actually move atoms and begin to create amazing nano devices. Some could one day patrol our body for all kinds of diseases and clean out clogged arteries along the way. Tiny chemical machines of the future can one day perhaps repair DNA. We are on the threshold of extraordinary advances, born of our drive to unveil the mysteries of life. So under an endless rain of cosmic dust, the air is full of pollen, microdiamonds and jewels from other planets, and supernova explosions. People go about their lives surrounded by the unseeable. Knowing that there's so much around us we can see forever changes our understanding of the world. And by looking at unseen worlds, we recognize we exist in the living universe. And this new perspective creates wonder and inspires us to become explorers in our own backyards. Who knows what waits to be seen and what new wonders will transform our lives? We'll just have to see.
Isn't it like seeing God in action? Having all this technology now, it's got to make us try to be better people for a better world. Imagine all this going around us and all the power that it brings, the knowledge and this science, this philosophy, this religion, bringing us closer to a creator that is love, is pure love, and knowing that make us a lot more positive, a lot more optimistic to what is to come. I wish you all a blessed evening, a wonderful end of week, and I'll see you guys on Sunday.